for the warm welcome. And it's my privilege to be here today and to talk about a very important session on smart cities, which is very close to our heart, right? This is not a topic of only about infrastructure, right? It's about the future of our cities, how we are shaping up our economy, our next generation, right? So I think all of us has a image of smart city in our mind that's surrounded by a lot of sensors, a lot of data, command and control center, and that's all make it smart, where in reality I speak to a lot of people and they say, Gaurav, government is trying to make cities smart by using sensors, by using environmental data, by using a lot of data, but ultimately the basic fundamental infrastructure is not there. So in my session, in my presentation, I would be covering that, how technology and basic infrastructure can go hand in hand to make our cities more sustainable, right, and more resilient. So today we know more than 35% of our population, they lives in cities, and this number will outgrow to 50% by 2047, which is a massive increase, right? According to United Nations, four cities of India alone, New Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Bangalore, they contribute to 100 million of people, right? So we can imagine, more than 10 crore people are living in these four cities only, right? So our cities are expanding rapidly, population are rising, infrastructure is at a constant strain, roads are congested, water is not clear, sanitation systems are stretched, people are concerned about public safety, housing, but so how to handle this problem? So the question before us is not whether our cities will grow. They will certainly grow, right? Cities are meant to grow, but the real question is, will they grow intellectually, intelligently, inclusively, sustainably? The response is yes. We need to make sure, we need to make it happen. So, as I've initially talked about, smart cities are often misunderstood as a technology heavy project full of sensor, camera, dashboard, control centers, and all. But it's not about having smart gadgets across the city. It's about integrating them, having an integrated urban planning in place, policy framework, engineering system, digital technologies, and most importantly, the topic of the day, collaboration between stakeholders. And when I say stakeholders, it's we common citizen, right? Our government, our policy makers, so all of us need to come together, and we need to collaborate so that our cities can be prepared for future. Today, we might not be able to see what happened after 50 years, but our next generation, right, we need to make our cities resilient for the upcoming 30, 40, 15 years. So moving to the next, I won't spend much time onto the slides itself. So can anyone tell me, what is the inflection point, right? The pace of growth is significantly outstripping the pace of infrastructure readiness, right? Our cities are growing, but accordingly the infrastructure, cannot meet the race, right? So it's always lagging behind. We have seen, always in news that there is a severe heat storm, or maybe urban flooding is there. There was a hue and cry about air quality in Delhi NCR region, right? Every year in the year of monsoon, months of monsoon, cities like Mumbai, Delhi, they get flooded. People are stuck in traffic for hours. So can technology really solve these problems? We need to understand that. So the challenge is structural. Our current planning models are largely reactive. So we respond to the crisis when they occur. Now the city demands that we should anticipate those crises in advance. Our urban planning, civic planning should be in a way, they should assess, in advance. So nowadays AI, generative AI, predictive modeling, and lot of other technologies are there, right? Which can help you assessing the problem before they arise. So this is called the inflection point. So how I define a typical, smart city or a smart technology driven city or a smart design. So basically, as I've talked about, the fundamental layer is the physical layer, right? We all know, how we would like to see our cities. We want cleaner roads, pothole free roads, no garbage lying on the streets, less congested. Our females, our kids feel safe, right? So these are the basic amenities we expect from a city. So this is called the physical infrastructure layer. On the top of that, we can enable it a data intelligence layer, which might have certain cameras, certain IoT devices. I'll not talk about what kind of devices, the SCADA and all. I think that will be too technical. We will keep it for the next seminar. On the top of that, and that's the most important layer for our civic authorities, for our policy maker and decision makers, that is the decision layer, where policies, SOPs need to be decided, designed, and they has to be citizen centric. I think till the time we won't think from a citizen perspective, all these policies, SOPs, guidelines will not going to help. I personally live in Gurgaon. I have faced those massive traffic chaos. I have seen those, urban flooding, and I mean, sometimes I feel very helpless. Like what I can do, to make our life easy. So sometimes, I think that can be helped with the use of technology. So I will be covering it into the next slide. I'll not go by word, but when it comes to a smart city framework, what are the typical components? So as I've mentioned, we want good roads, sanitation, good water, good environment. So all this culminate into, five major pillar of a smart city, we call it, like smart safety. Then we need smart water, smart energy, smart mobility, and on the top of that, governance. Nowadays, since last 15 years, I have seen, government is trying to now go paperless and faceless, right? So all of our work are happening in a digital mode. So this is again a very crucial example of a smart city initiative, or a smart initiative, we call it, right? So these are the fundamental, pillar of a smart city. So moving to the next one, I think, allow me a moment for this system glitch. So we can definitely talk about, how these smart energy and utilities work, what are the data, water SCADA, power SCADA, but I think that will be too technical for now. But what I clearly say, you can have all these IT assets in a city, but a city becomes smart when infrastructure is designed as a system, not as an individual asset. You can have all those assets in a city, but till the time they work in a collaboration, right? They work as a system. A city is not going to be smart, right? So moving to the next one, I think more or less I have covered it. So in the positive time, I will not be spending too much time onto that. I talked about infrastructure layer, digital intelligence layer, and governance and decision layer. There are the few initiative that can make a city mobility smart, like your intelligent traffic management system, your adaptive traffic control, your public transport integration. Of course, I understand that our cities are currently lacking in terms of public transportation, which is heavily used in the cities like Dubai, Singapore, or maybe Tokyo, New York, and all other city. So our government is heavily investing now, bringing these public mobility mediums into the cities. But what really requires is the integration, right? Something sort of a common mobility card, right? Our traffics are congested. So maybe, we can implement smart traffic, adaptive traffic control system, who can ease out the traffic. So this is all about that. EV is picking up in India now, so I think government should also start thinking building a strong EV network as well. I will skip this again. Now, the most important part is command and control center. So, command and control center is a nerve center of a city, right? Wherein all of your integrated solutions, your IoT solutions, get culminated, right? And on the top of that, you build an intelligence layer. So, like I did a lot of smart city projects in which we have installed, I would not say millions, but a few thousand of the devices in terms of camera, water sensor, environmental sensors, right? If they work in silos, it will not make the city smart, right? So smart devices need to enable intelligent decision making. It should empower, right, our bureaucracy, our civic authorities to take better informed decisions. And as I mentioned, predictive analytics and uh, uh, predictive, or rather, what do you call the predictive planning, has to bring into the picture. This is again a small model of a command and control center. I'll not touch upon this, but this is broadly defined. What are the sensor that can be deployed at a edge layer, and then there will be a connectivity layer. Then that data will go to command and control center, and with the help of AI modeling, predictive modeling, we can generate intelligent insights. Now, this is the important one. When we talk about climate resilience, we must move beyond concrete and culverts. The real question is not how strong our bridges are. The real question is, can our city sense? Can they think? And can they respond in real time? Because climate risk today is not hypothetical, it's measurable, it's accelerating, and it's systemic. So, resilient city is not just durable, it's adaptive. So let me ask you, when rainfall intensity increase, say by 40% in 2 hours, that usually happen in Delhi NCR region, I am witness to that. Do we know which drain will overflow? When the temperature rises to 48 degree, 50 degree, do we know which ward are the most vulnerable? AQI crosses 30. Do we know which are the pocket where we need to regulate the traffic and emission? So we don't know. So technology actually enable us to get that insight, right? So this is all again about predictive analysis. So technology actually help us into that. This predictive analysis, so data, as we call it, it's a new gold. So data can be used, to generate those predictable insight, intelligent insight, and informed decision making. I think more or less we have covered it. Citizen-centric digital platform. I will not go to this. Siloed data we have touched upon. So all these siloed system need to come together. I think we will take audience question in our QA session if there are any. So in the interest of time, I'm just moving. Another important thing is public-private partnership is in smart city, and I think that's a very crucial one. I'll take 1 minute more because what we think that government alone can make our cities sustainable and smart. That is not going to happen, right? So what is public private partnership? That the society need to come and invest along with the government to make these projects successful, because these are long term projects. It's like roads, right? They are built for 20 years, 30 years, right? So we need to, government need to start thinking, bringing the private partnership into this ecosystem to make our cities more smart. We have seen recent example when a lot of public assets now are being managed by the private entities, because they have that fund and government has that intent. So intent is always important and necessary. So so PPP model plays a crucial role in making our cities smart. Anupama, I think this is all about. I mean, I think I have taken more time that was allotted to me. I'll maybe if you want, I can touch upon what will be the outcome. How we can measure these outcome. Of a smart city, like how much energy we can save, uh, how much water we can conserve, and how our overall citizen experience can improve.